First contact and the impossible challenge. The massive alien vessel appeared silently over Chicago on a crisp autumn morning, its crystalline hull refracting sunlight in hypnotic patterns across the cityscape. There was no warning, no gradual revelation of its approach, just sudden, undeniable presence. Fear gripped the city initially, but as hours passed with no aggression, curiosity replaced terror. Global news networks broadcasted live as military jets circled at a respectful distance. The vessel, nearly 3 kilometers in length, hovered motionless above Lake Michigan, its purpose unknown. After 24 hours of tense waiting, humanity received its first transmission. People of Earth, the message began, appearing simultaneously on every digital display worldwide. We are representatives of the Galactic Concordat, an alliance of 317 spacefaring civilizations. Your species has reached a critical evolutionary juncture. We have come to determine your fate. Within hours, world leaders assembled at a hastily organized summit in Chicago. As delegates from major nations arrived, the alien vessel extended a shimmering bridge of light to the shoreline. From within emerged 3 beings unlike anything seen on Earth. The aliens stood nearly 3 meters tall, their bodies seemingly composed of interlocking geometric shapes that shifted and reconfigured with each movement. Their surfaces displayed changing patterns of light that scientists theorized might represent emotional states or serve as communication. They called themselves the Ark City. Your species stands at a crossroads, announced the lead Ark City, its voice resonating directly in the minds of all present. You have developed technology capable of interstellar influence while still harboring primitive tribal instincts. This combination has proven catastrophic in 73% of evolutionary cases we have encountered. The UN Secretary-General stepped forward. We come in peace and seek friendly relations with all species. The alien surface flashed with patterns that human observers later described as something between amusement and pity. Your intentions are irrelevant. Your potential impact on galactic stability must be assessed. Another Ark City moved forward. We offer a challenge of aptitude. As is our protocol with emerging species, 4 humans will be selected to solve a problem that threatens multiple civilizations. Your performance will determine whether Earth joins the Concordat, remains quarantined to your solar system, or faces preemptive containment. The implications were clear. Success meant acceptance. Failure could mean extinction. Who would you have us send? Asked the American president. Our top scientists, military strategists. We will make the selections, replied the third Ark City. Our criteria are beyond your comprehension. A sphere of pulsing energy emerged from the lead alien center, rising into the air before shooting out in 4 different directions. The selection orbs will identify those with the necessary cognitive patterns. You have 6 hours to prepare for departure. Before any further questions could be asked, the aliens retreated to their vessel, leaving humanity in stunned silence. In a small apartment on the outskirts of Chicago, Eliza Chen was struggling with a malfunctioning coffee maker she'd been attempting to upgrade. At 32, she bounced between jobs in electronics repair, app development, and most recently, virtual reality programming. Her apartment was a chaotic workshop of half-finished projects and modified appliances, evidence of a brilliant but scattered mind that couldn't stay focused on any single track. When the selection orb phased through her wall and hovered before her, Eliza dropped her screwdriver. Eliza Chen, the orb announced in a synthetic voice. You have been selected as Earth's representative to the Galactic Concordat. You will depart in 5 hours and 23 minutes. There's been a mistake, she stammered. I'm nobody. I don't even have a stable job. Selection is final, replied the orb before dissolving into particles that sank into Eliza's skin, leaving a strange mark on her forearm, a series of geometric patterns similar to the aliens' bodies. Halfway across the world in Lagos, Nigeria, Dr. Adebayo Okafor was cleaning out his university office. At 45, the theoretical physicist had just been denied tenure for the 3rd time, His unconventional approaches to quantum mechanics deemed too speculative by the academic establishment. His colleagues call him brilliant but undisciplined, unable to focus on pragmatic research that would attract grants. The selection orb found him packing books into cardboard boxes. In the mountains of Peru, Maya Khomeini was collecting soil samples when her orb arrived. The 29-year-old botanist specialized in extreme environment adaptation, studying how plants evolved to survive in the harshest conditions. Her unorthodox methods had alienated her from traditional research institutions, forcing her to conduct independent studies with minimal funding. The fourth orb traveled to a small fishing village in coastal Japan, where it selected Hiroshi Takahashi, a 51-year-old former engineer who had abandoned a promising career to become a craftsman. His workshop combined ancient woodworking techniques with cutting-edge technology, creating pieces that defied conventional categorization. Within hours, all four were transported to Chicago, where they met for the first time in a secured government facility. They eyed each other with confusion and skepticism. "There must be some mistake," Dr. Okafor said, breaking the uncomfortable silence. "I'm a theoretical physicist who can't get published. Surely there are more qualified candidates." "I fix broken electronics and code VR games," Eliza shrugged. "Last month I was fired from a pizza delivery app for excessive system optimization." Maya laughed nervously. "I study how plants survive in places they shouldn't. Most of my colleagues think my methods are unscientific. I carve wood and occasionally build strange machines that serve no practical purpose," Hiroshi added. "The aliens have chosen poorly." A holographic projection appeared, showing one of the Ark City. "Your confusion is anticipated but irrelevant. Our selection criteria identify neural pattern configurations optimal for the challenge. Conventional measures of achievement within your civilization have no bearing on our assessment." "What exactly is this challenge?" Maya asked. "You will be transported to Central Station Alpha, where the nature of the problem will be revealed. Prepare yourselves. The journey begins in 1 hour." After the transmission ended, the four looked at each other with growing unease. "Anyone else find it suspicious that none of us are, well, particularly successful by normal standards?" Eliza asked. Hiroshi nodded slowly. "Perhaps traditional success would be a liability for whatever challenge awaits us. Or maybe," Dr. Okafor said thoughtfully, "they'd selected us precisely because we think differently from our peers." The alien shuttle ascended through Earth's atmosphere with impossible grace, carrying the four humans toward the massive mothership. Through viewport windows, they watched their planet shrink beneath them, a blue marble suspended in darkness. Inside the mothership, they were led through corridors that seemed to reconfigure themselves as they walked. Surfaces shifted colors and textures in response to their presence. Gravity fluctuated subtly between sections, and light sources had no discernible origin. "This architecture defies Euclidean geometry," Dr. Okafor muttered, his scientific curiosity momentarily overriding his anxiety. Their quarters resembled a human habitat in basic function but with alien ergonomics. Beds that adjusted automatically to body contours, food synthesizers that produced approximations of Earth cuisine, and sanitation facilities that operated on principles none of them could decipher. The journey to Central Station Alpha would take 15 Earth days, during which they received neural implants, reluctantly accepted, that enabled them to understand the Concordet's common language and provided basic information about galactic civilization. On the 5th day, Eliza discovered she could access the ship's information systems through her neural implant. "Their security architecture is fascinating," she told the others. "It's built on assumptions about cognitive processes that don't quite match how human minds work." "What have you found?" Maya asked. "The Concordat includes species from multiple galaxies, some over 1 million years more advanced than Earth. We're classified as a Level 2 pre-integration species, basically cosmic toddlers. Any information about this challenge?" Dr. Okafor pressed. Eliza shook her head. "That's restricted, But I found something interesting. References to the anomaly, insecure communications. Whatever it is, it's causing panic among Concordat leadership. By the journey's end, they had absorbed enough information to function in alien society, though the neural downloads often left them with splitting headaches and occasional nosebleeds. They're trying to pour millions of years of knowledge into brains that evolved to track prey on the savannah. Dr. Okafor complained, massaging his temples. There are fundamental limits to how much we can assimilate. The shuttle emerged from a controlled spatial distortion, a wormhole, they were told, revealing their destination. Central Station Alpha was a structure of impossible proportions, a massive artificial ring world orbiting a binary star system, housing representatives from hundreds of civilizations. As their shuttle approached, they observed other vessels arriving from various worlds. Most were sleek and advanced, making their Earth-built shuttle, modified with alien technology, look primitive by comparison. They're staring at us, Maya said, noticing alien faces pressed against viewports as they passed. Not with curiosity, with disdain. We're the new kids, Hiroshi said calmly. And judging by those ships, we're several thousand years behind in development. Their Arcside guide, designated as Coordinator Zell, met them at the docking bay. Its geometric body reconfigured into a more humanoid shape, which it explained was a courtesy to ease their transition. Welcome to Central Station Alpha, humans, Zell communicated. You will be presented to the High Council in 6 standard hours. Until then, you will be shown to your quarters and briefed on proper protocol. As they were escorted through the station, the humans felt the weight of alien gazes. Some species appeared vaguely familiar, humanoid or mammalian, while others defied categorization, existing as energy fields, crystalline structures, or amorphous masses. The station is experiencing limited functionality in Sector 7. Zell informed them as they passed a sealed corridor where technicians in protective gear were working. Nothing concerning. But Eliza noticed how the technicians' movements suggested urgency rather than routine maintenance. Dr. Okafor observed strange fluctuations in the station's ambient energy fields, visible through his specially calibrated neural implant settings. Their quarters were located in a section designated for provisional species, a diplomatic term for those not yet granted full Concordat membership. The accommodations were luxurious by human standards, but clearly designed for temporary occupancy. Rest and prepare, Zell instructed before departing. The challenge begins tomorrow. Once alone, the 4 humans gathered in the common area of their quarters. Did anyone else notice the tension? Maya asked. The way other species were looking at us. Like we're either a joke or a threat, Eliza confirmed. Maybe both. I'm more concerned about these maintenance issues, Dr. Okafor said. I detected abnormal energetic fluctuations throughout the station, particularly near those sealed sections. Hiroshi had been quiet, observing everything with practiced patience. I believe, he said finally, that we may have been brought here under false pretenses. This challenge may not be merely a test of worthiness. What do you mean? Eliza asked. Consider our selection, he replied. 4 humans with unconventional thinking patterns, brought to a station experiencing mysterious technical problems that advanced civilizations seem unable to solve. Dr. Okafor's eyes widened with realization. They don't want representatives. They want problem solvers. But why us? Maya pressed. Why not our best scientists or engineers? Eliza laughed without humor. Because conventional expertise isn't working for them. They need outside perspective, people who think differently. People who failed within their own systems, Hiroshi added, because they couldn't conform to established paradigms. They fell silent as the implications sank in. Whatever awaited them tomorrow wasn't merely a test. It was a desperate gambit by advanced civilizations facing a problem they couldn't solve themselves. And humanity's future hung in the balance. The human factor prevails. The High Council chamber of the Galactic Concordat was a vast amphitheater with concentric rings ascending into darkness. Representatives from hundreds of civilizations occupied positions corresponding to their species status and seniority. The four humans stood on the central platform, feeling the weight of countless alien gazes. Above them, a semicircle of 13 beings constituted the High Council itself, the most advanced species in known space, including the Arctidae. Some appeared as shimmering energy fields, others as complex crystalline structures, and a few maintained physical forms so alien that human eyes struggle to comprehend them. Humans of Earth began the central figure, a luminescent being whose voice resonated directly in their minds. You have been selected to address an unprecedented threat to galactic stability. We call it the anomaly. A holographic projection materialized above the chamber, a three-dimensional representation of Central Station Alpha with several sections highlighted in pulsing red. 17 standard cycles ago, our sensors detected spatial temporal irregularities in the station's outer ring, continued the counselor. These anomalies have since spread throughout multiple sectors, causing system failures, physical distortions, and in 3 instances, the complete disappearance of personnel. The projection zoomed in on various affected areas, showing twisted corridors, equipment melted in impossible ways, and spaces where the fabric of reality itself seemed to ripple. Our finest scientists and engineers have been unable to determine the cause or develop countermeasures. Another counselor added, this one a crystalline entity whose facets glowed with internal light. Conventional approaches have failed. Unconventional perspectives are now required. Dr. Okafor stepped forward. With respect, counselors, why select humans? Our civilization is thousands of years behind yours technologically. Precisely, responded the Arctidae counselor. Your species possesses a unique cognitive architecture, one that combines analytical reasoning with intuitive leaps that often defy logic. Your neural patterns show an unusual ability to recognize patterns within chaos and to form connections between seemingly unrelated concepts. You want outside-the-box thinking, Eliza translated. A simplification, but essentially correct. The Arctidae confirmed. You have been granted temporary Level 5 clearance to access all relevant data and facilities. You have 10 standard cycles to formulate a solution before the anomalies reach critical mass. And if we fail? Maya asked, though she suspected the answer. The station will be evacuated and destroyed, replied the luminescent counselor. And Earth will be classified as unviable for integration. As the implications of this statement sank in, Hiroshi asked the question the others were thinking. Is this truly a test of Earth's worthiness, or are we genuinely your last hope? The council chamber fell silent. Finally, the Arctidae spoke again. Both. Your success or failure will determine not only Earth's fate, but potentially that of many worlds. You begin now. Their first 3 days were spent in the central data hub, absorbing information through their neural implants. The station's systems allowed them to process data at accelerated rates, though the experience remained disorienting and often painful. The anomalies appeared shortly after the installation of a new quantum resonance core, Dr. Okafor noted, projecting his findings onto a holographic display. It was designed to enhance the station's wormhole generation capabilities. The engineering schematics are incredible, Eliza marveled, manipulating 3-dimensional blueprints with gesture controls. The core operates on 15-dimensional mathematics. I can barely comprehend the basic principles. Maya had been studying environmental data rather than technology. There's something interesting in the atmospheric composition readings. Subtle changes in molecular behavior preceded each anomaly outbreak. Hiroshi remained quiet, as was his habit, absorbing everything but sharing little. On the 4th day, he finally spoke up. We're approaching this wrong, he said. We're trying to understand the problem using their conceptual frameworks that have already failed to produce a solution. What do you suggest? Dr. Okafor asked. We need to see the anomalies firsthand, not just through data. Despite protests from their Arctidae liaison, the humans insisted on visiting affected areas. Protected by advanced containment suits, They were escorted to Sector 7, where the anomalies had first appeared. The corridor before them seemed to warp and bend, though physical sensors indicated straight lines and right angles. Colors shifted in patterns that hurt the eye, and gravity fluctuated unpredictably. Most disturbing was the behavior of time itself. Their suit chronometers desynchronized, with differences of several minutes developing over seconds of exposure. "It's like reality is coming unraveled," Maya whispered. Eliza was recording everything through her neural implant, applying various filters to the sensory data. "There's a pattern here, but it's not in conventional space-time dimensions." Dr. Okafor nodded. "It reminds me of quantum decoherence on a macroscopic scale, as if multiple probability states are trying to exist simultaneously." After visiting 3 affected sectors, they returned to their workroom, minds buzzing with new perspectives. "The aliens are approaching this as an engineering problem," Hiroshi observed. "A malfunction to be corrected." "But what if it's not?" Eliza said, excitement building in her voice. "What if it's a natural phenomenon they've accidentally triggered?" Dr. Okafor's eyes widened. "Like discovering radiation by accident, they created something they don't fully understand." Over the next 2 days, they developed a radical theory. The quantum resonance core wasn't malfunctioning. It was working exactly as designed. But its effects, combined with the station's position near a binary star system, had created unintended consequences. "It's opening microscopic connections to parallel realities," Dr. Okafor explained to their liaison. "Each resonance pulse widens these connections, allowing conflicting versions of space-time to intersect." The Arc City's geometric form reconfigured in what they'd learned to recognize as skepticism. Our scientists considered and dismissed this possibility. "The mathematics doesn't support the theory." "Because your mathematics assumes foundational constants that may not be constant across all realities," Eliza countered. "We need to observe the core during a resonance pulse." Their request was initially denied by station authorities, but approved after intervention from the High Council. On the 7th day, they stood in the observation chamber of the quantum resonance core, a massive spherical structure pulsing with energies that human science had never dreamed of. As the core initiated its daily power cycle, their specialized sensors recorded data that conventional instruments missed. Tiny fractures in reality itself, invisible to standard detection methods. "It's worse than we thought," Dr. Okafor said grimly. "The fractures are propagating exponentially. At this rate, they'll reach critical mass in less than 3 cycles, not 10. Returning to their workroom, they faced the enormity of their challenge. They understood the problem now, but a solution seemed beyond reach. "We need to close the fractures," Maya said. "But how do you repair tears in reality itself?" Eliza had been unusually quiet, her mind racing through possibilities. "On Earth, when I repair broken electronics, I sometimes have to break them further before I can fix them properly. You're suggesting we increase the damage to repair it?" Dr. Okafor asked incredulously. "Not exactly," she replied. "But what if, instead of trying to close the fractures, we control them? Created a containment field that channels the quantum discharge?" Hiroshi nodded slowly. "In my work, I sometimes need to guide the natural splitting of wood rather than prevent it. Allow the break, but direct its path." Working through the night, they developed a radical approach, using the station's existing energy grid to create a network of controlled quantum sinks that would channel the anomalous energy into a predetermined pattern. "The mathematics is sound," Dr. Okafor assured them after running hundreds of simulations. "But the Concordat authorities will never approve such an unorthodox solution." "Then we don't ask for approval," Eliza said firmly. "We implement it ourselves." Using Eliza's ability to navigate the station's information systems through unconventional pathways, they gained access to the central control network. While Maya and Dr. Okafor recalibrated the station's energy distribution systems, Hiroshi and Eliza reprogrammed maintenance drones to install modified resonance baffles at strategic locations. Their activities did not go unnoticed. On the 9th day, as they were finalizing preparations, Security forces surrounded their workroom. "You have violated multiple security protocols," announced their ARC-CD liaison. "Your actions are unauthorized and potentially dangerous. The High Council demands an explanation." Dr. Okafor stepped forward. "We found a solution, but it's not one your scientists would ever implement. We need to guide the anomalies, not suppress them." "Impossible," the ARC-CD declared. "Our simulations show that any attempt to manipulate the anomalies will accelerate their growth." "Your simulations are based on assumptions that don't apply to this phenomenon," Maya argued. "We've developed a new model." "The High Council will evaluate your proposal," the liaison stated. "There's no time," Eliza insisted. "The fractures are reaching critical mass now. We've already begun implementation." As if to emphasize her point, alarms blared throughout the station. Emergency protocols activated automatically as new anomalies erupted in previously unaffected sectors. The station's primary intelligence announced, "Critical system failure imminent. All personnel, proceed to evacuation points." "It's now or never," Hiroshi said quietly. The ARC-City's form pulsed with conflicting patterns before finally reconfiguring. "Proceed." With security authorization granted, they raced to the central control hub. Eliza interfaced directly with the station's systems through her neural implant, while Dr. Okafor made final adjustments to their quantum sync network. Activating resonance grid in 3, 2, 1. Maya counted down. The station shuddered as power redirected through their modified pathways. For several agonizing moments, the anomalies appeared to worsen, reality itself seeming to fold and unfold throughout affected sectors. "It's working," Dr. Okafor announced, watching the holographic display. "The quantum disruptions are following our predicted pathways." "Energy levels stabilizing," Eliza confirmed. "The fractures are self-containing along the network." Throughout the station, the distortions began to recede. Spaces that had been warped returned to normal dimensions. Chronometric readings synchronized. The quantum resonance core's output shifted to a stable, controlled pattern. In the observation chamber, members of the High Council watched in astonishment as the humans' unconventional solution brought the crisis under control. "They didn't try to fight the phenomenon," one counselor observed. "They worked with it. A solution our brightest minds would never have conceived," the ARC-City counselor acknowledged, "because it contradicts our fundamental understanding of quantum mechanics." "Perhaps," said the luminescent being, "our understanding requires revision." 3 days later, the 4 humans stood again before the High Council. The station had fully stabilized, and the modified systems were now permanently integrated into its infrastructure. "Humans of Earth," began the central counselor, "you have succeeded where the combined intellect of 317 advanced civilizations failed. Your approach was unorthodox, intuitive, and ultimately correct. We simply saw the problem differently," Dr. Okafor explained modestly. "Our limited understanding of your technology actually allowed us to question basic assumptions." "Precisely," the ARC-City counselor confirmed. "Your species' cognitive architecture, combining analytical reasoning with intuitive leaps, pattern recognition with creative improvisation, represents a valuable addition to the Concordat." "So Earth passes the test?" Maya asked. "Beyond our expectations," replied the luminescent counselor. "Earth is hereby classified as a Level 3 integration candidate, with expedited pathway to full membership." As murmurs spread through the chamber, Eliza stepped forward. "With respect, counselors, I have a question. Was this truly a test designed for Earth, or did you select us because you genuinely needed help with the anomaly?" The council chamber fell silent. Finally, the ARC-City spoke. "Both statements are true. The anomaly was real, and our inability to solve it revealed a weakness in our collective thinking. Your species' cognitive diversity provides a valuable counterbalance to our increasingly homogenized approach to problem solving." "A symbiotic relationship," Hiroshi nodded. "You offer technological advancement. We offer perspective." "Indeed," the counselor confirmed. "The universe is vast and full of phenomena beyond any single approach to understanding. Even with our million-year head start, there are problems we cannot solve alone. As the council session concluded, the humans were informed that they would return to Earth as ambassadors of the Concordat, helping prepare humanity for its new role in galactic society. "Look at that," Eliza said later, as they gathered in their quarters, watching Earth come into view through the viewport. The blue planet seems somehow different now, smaller, perhaps in the cosmic scale, but suddenly more significant. "We're going to change everything," Maya whispered. "Human history will never be the same." Dr. Okafor smiled. "And to think, they chose 4 failures for the job." "Not failures," Hiroshi corrected. "Just people who didn't fit neatly into existing systems." "Maybe that's humanity's greatest strength," Eliza suggested. "We don't just think outside the box. We question why the box exists in the first place." As their shuttle began its descent toward Earth, they carried with them not just advanced technology, but a profound new understanding. In a universe of ancient civilizations and godlike intelligences, humanity's greatest asset wasn't knowledge or power, but perspective. Sometimes, the universe needs people who don't know what can't be done.